gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. Welcome to another edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by you know who. It's the Buffalo Fanatics. It's the Rico Report. I am your host, Rico. Let's get right into it, folks. Fresh off of a wild card win, wild card weekend. Folks may want to call it that because there were 4 games that were decided within 7 points, folks. Within 7 points. When one score games, 4 games decided by that. And then we had the Broncos. Listen, then we had you watched that Steelers game. You kind of already knew what time it was. The minute the Steelers got awarded that wild card game against the Steelers, you knew it was a wrap. You just didn't know how it was going to end up. They kept it close for as long as they could, and then things unraveled. And it unraveled defensively and unraveled offensively. It just wasn't good. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. The receivers are dropping footballs. Aaron Rodgers kind of looking kind of like an old man. I mean, that's what it is. What is it, like 41, 42, 43? You know what I'm saying? So it's going to happen, right? That game was a dud. But most games were exciting. The other dud that I want to talk about was the Chargers game. Golly. Let me tell you something, man. I try to pay attention to just my Bills, and as a football fan, you pay attention to a whole lot of other things. There are a whole lot of other things you pay attention to. But one team that frustrates me when I watch them, bro, the Chargers, absolutely, they frustrate me. That's not even my squad. I could care less about the Chargers, but watching Herbert, they can't run the football. Herbert, the minute he's off of one read and he feels that pressure coming, he freezes and just gets pummeled. You let the New England Patriots look like a juggernaut. You let them look like a juggernaut. And we both know there ain't no juggernauts out there, man. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a well-coached team, but golly, them Chargers, bro. Like, Herbert, when it comes to playoffs and Herbert, bro, cut it out, man. Cut it out. I don't know what needs to take place. So what do? They make some changes. So anyway, it is what it is. The Eagles make changes. There's a bunch of changes all over the league. Mike Tomlin has decided to step down from being the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if I saw that one coming. I'm not sure if I saw that one coming. Most folks might say, you know what, they expect him to come back. I saw a lot of arguments saying, hey, they should bring him back. Not only bring him back, but retool everything. Get rid of some high-priced players that would get you some assets back, start all over, rebuild with the same coach. They weren't having that, and neither was Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin said, bro, it's been real. I gave y'all 19 years. Y'all never had a losing season with me. I gave you a Super Bowl. I've given you 7 straight playoffs, but I've also lost 7 straight playoffs. So you know what? Maybe if I'm so bad, if I'm no good at this, I'll step down. Maybe you guys will find a coach that will get you over the edge and get you over the top. I don't know how quickly these Pittsburgh Steelers will do that. I mean, they went from what? Who was the coach before Tomlin? So you had Tomlin, you had Cowher, and then you had Chuck. I think it was Chuck Noll. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So like they haven't had many coaches, 3 coaches in the last like 40 years, bro. That's incredible. 40 plus. So I knew Cowher. I was thinking of the coach before Cowher. So I was Chuck Noll. I knew it was Chuck something. So Chuck Noll, Cowher, then you get Tomlin, and now who? Right? And there's a reputation that comes with it, man. Any coach that comes in here, we want to make sure that we give you success. We want to hold on to you as long as possible. And we're not trying to be that a team that has a carousel of coaches. So that'll be interesting to see what and who goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, question is, are they a desirable team? Are the Pittsburgh Steelers, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and their roster, are they desirable? I don't know, man. So some might say he's been doing a whole lot with very little. I mean, really, the problem with Mike Tomlin is that brother never really had a damn quarterback. Once Roethlisberger left, you had Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields, Mason Rudolph, Ducky Hodges, Russell Wilson. Bro, You ain't going to win with that. Then you got old man Rodgers. Bro, Rodgers is past his prime, man. I love Rodgers, like him, but he's past his prime. So, like, that brother's never really had a quarterback. So, when you don't have a quarterback, you can't do a whole lot. You can't do a whole lot. So, it is what it is. So, Pittsburgh's going to be looking for a coach. Philly just got rid of their offensive coordinator. We knew that was going to happen. So, maybe A.J. Brown can find a home if they move on from him. You know what I'm saying? We got plenty of room for you, bro, because these brothers dropping like flies over here. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get into the coaching and vacancies around the league, but that's not of importance right now. You know what's important right now to me? You know what's important right now to Bills fans is the fact that the Bills give us one more week of football. We get one more week of football because if you are a Jaguars fan, bro, Jaguars fans right now are devastated. They are absolutely devastated. Oh, Rico, why are they devastated? It was just they lost. No big deal. No, it's a big deal because they really thought they were going to win this game. They really thought this was the year. They really thought they were the hottest team going into it. And they really thought they were really going to beat the Bills. They thought we're going to stop the run. We got the number one run defense in the game. That's all the Bills have. Shame on y'all. That's all the Bills have. We're gonna stop the run, which they did, but they forgot something. They forgot something. The guy that wears the 1-7, he's not a normal human being. That brother's not a normal human being, man. You got 250 pounds of weight coming down on your helmet, on your face. So now they're thinking you concussed. Then you have your knee buckle and hyperextend. I don't know what took place. So now you're nursing a bum knee, and you try to make a beautiful and you hit your finger off a helmet, bro. Your hand. You're like Kia. My neck, my back. I ain't gonna do the rest, but you guys know what I'm saying, man. This guy was just getting hit all over the place, but the Iron Man that he is was like, no. These are. I'll get over this. You know what I'm saying? Put some ice on that. Put some Bengay on that. We good. Let me get this dub from my squad. And that's exactly what he did. The Jaguars forgot who they were messing with. They thought, take number 4 out of this equation, and the rest should follow. We're going to let him try to beat us with the pass. We got Greg Newsome. You know what I'm saying? We got Devin Lloyd. We got some boys. We got them boys. We got them jits out there for the Florida boys. You know what I'm talking about? So we got them boys out there. They just forgot. 17 is not normal. 17 is not normal. And they found out. The Jaguars found out. So big shout out to the Bills coming through and getting their first victory on the road. How about that? How about that? Of all the things that were going up against the Bills, right? The thing that was hanging over their heads was they haven't won on the road in the postseason since 1992, right? The 92-93 season, they haven't won since then. What are these Bills going to do? I don't know. They're going up against the hottest team in the AFC. Likely whoever wins this game represents the AFC. So for Jaguars fans, they like to say, well, congratulations, you won your Super Bowl. Let me tell you, I can't stand that argument when another fan base, fans of another team, when their team loses, they revert to, congratulations, you won your Super Bowl. That was your Super Bowl. Boy, please, knock it off with that. I can't stand that talk. Sometimes it's okay to be a fan base that says, bro, we got our tails beat today. We got our tails beat. They did it on special teams. They did it with the defense. They did it with the offense. They did it in all 3 phases, and they did it better than we did. Oh, by the way, they made crucial defensive stops. Just take the L. Just take the L. Let me go in my pocket real quick. Just hold that L. It's okay to be able to do that. These Jaguars, bro, like, you know when you don't really when you haven't done something in a long time, and you know the saying, act like you've been here before. Forgive them. It's been a while. It's been a while. So they're not sure how to act. You know what I'm saying? They're not sure how to act. I'm not even trying to talk junk like that. But sometimes you're not sure how to act. So, all right then. Enjoy Cancun. Enjoy Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy, I don't know, go wherever you want to go. You want a peaceful what I'm saying, want a peaceful time, I don't know, choose wherever you want to go. It ain't gonna be next round. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, jokes aside, great game by the Jaguars. They fought hard. They fought hard. They really wanted it. You could tell. Obviously, you guys know I'm joking. I'm kidding. You know what I'm saying? You got to rib a little bit, but that was a damn good game. Because I'll tell you right now, I've never been in such state that I was in that game. My heart was. Listen, I know Bot will tell you. Listen, he'll tell you that he almost died 4 times. He'll tell you that my heart rate was up. He'll tell you that he'll tell you all these things that was happening to him during the game. Whatever is happening to him, it was happening to me. And I was like, what is this feeling? Is this how Zeba feels every game? I'm usually a calm, cool, collected dude. But I was unhinged. I was unhinged. Even my daughter called me. She's like, Dad, that is not like you. I see you get excited, but that was over the top. I was like, bro, I don't know what took over me. It's just you get excited. These Bills, that freaking song really rings true. They make you really they make you want to shout. And boy, did I ever. Boy, did I ever. So folks, appreciate you guys tuning in. And we're going to get into my boy, my man, Mr. Carl Jones will be joining us soon. And we're going to talk all Bills. We're going to talk NFL. We're going to talk all things that are happening with these Bills, right? Receivers dropping like flies. My gosh, it's like, when does it ever stop? When does it stop? When does it stop where we could just catch a little bit of a break? And you know what? These are one of those situations where maybe there is no break. Maybe it's one of those situations where, bro, we're being tested. And sometimes you got to answer the test. You got to answer the bell. You got to answer that call. And right now, we got 4 calls to answer. We've answered call number 1. That was against the Jaguars. All right. Now we got the Denver Broncos, which poses different challenges. It's a different team, but there are going to be some things that we're going to there's some challenges that we're going to face against this team that is going to put us in predicaments, and we're going to have to find a way to find our way out of it and get a dub. We need to get these dubs. So that being said, there's a lot to talk about, and we're going to get into it with my man Carl Jones when he's ready. I'm gonna let him chill. I know you're just getting in, right? So I'm gonna let you stretch, get you going, and when you're ready, you know what I mean, you get me through, because we're gonna talk about a few things before we get into Bills talk. We will get into Bills talk. We're gonna talk about the receivers, but we gotta talk about these coaching vacancies, and I'm curious to see where he sees 2 specific coaches going and if it's a good fit. And we're gonna play a little game. We'll play a little game. So you let me know when you're ready, and we'll get it going, ladies and gentlemen. I always like to introduce my man, Carl Jones, with a proper introduction. And the introduction he gets is usually with one of ladies and gentlemen, Carl Jones. What's going on, Carl? How you doing, boss?
Hey, man, I'm good, pimping. I'm good, man. It's good to still have a job. I'm kidding. You know,
you still got a job. You still got a job. You rough.
I will still have a job regardless if the Bills win or lose, but it's happy to continue to still do the fun part of my job with the Bills advancing over the Jags last week.
The Bills advancing over the Jags. Let's talk about it. Your initial thoughts when you're going into the game, was there some confidence that you had that the Bills could overcome, you know what I'm saying, this red hot Jags team, right? All that talk during the week is one thing, but once you know me how it is, you could prepare for the game, but once you get on the field and you start looking at the other team, you're like, all right, man, this is it. Did you see anything that was telling you, this game is too tight to tell? I don't know if these Bills are going to come through, or did you feel confident all the way through into this game?
No, there were definitely, I think it goes both ways. There were some things to be super excited about. You saw that the guys were flying around on defense, a lot of crazy disguises, a lot of movement on the back end. So that leads me to believe that they were well coached. They had an excellent game plan. And then you saw the run game get stifled a bit. So you were like, will they be able to elevate beyond some of those limitations that we've seen all year when they haven't been able to run the ball? They struggled, and they were surgical in the passing game. Josh was accurate. The receivers were getting open. Joe Brady had a good game plan. So the ebbs and flows, they went through them, but I just want to give the guys, the coaching staff, the credit for executing everything that was asked of them on Sunday.
They certainly did execute, man. I'll tell you right now. I'm not trying to be like I want to be in the moment, but I gotta say, man, this is one of Bobby Babbage and Coach McDermott's. You mean very? I don't want to say best performances, but like
Mm.
they put up a great performance in a wild card round that we really needed. We really
No,
needed
no,
these
no,
guys
no,
to
no,
step
no,
up.
no. Say it with your chest because we talked about this earlier at work. I said that was their best performance in the postseason in the McDermott era. Someone said, "Hold on, the Baltimore game in 2020." I said, "Yes, you're right." Outside of that, though, I think that was definitively their best performance when you take everything into consideration: the opposing team, the game plan, the execution of it. So no, you can say that you ain't got to tiptoe around that one, my boy. That was yeah.
My boy
Say it
Carl
with
Joe said, "Say it with your chest now."
you say it with your chest, my boy. You said you don't need to tiptoe around it. It was
Listen, you know what? I'll put it out there, man. This was McDermott and Babbage McDermott, whoever you want to give the credit to. This was a, dare I say, masterful performance. Am I tooting it too much? Because listen, the amount, I mean, you heard Trevor Lawrence talk about, man, I thought I saw something, then they switched it up. Then it was too high. Then it was man to man. Then it was cover four. I was like, I don't know what was happening. So it threw him off. Even Liam Cohen was like, bro, we got out coached. Let me just say it like that. They got out coached, and Coach McDermott came through and out coached Liam Cohen. Now, call it what you want to call it. It's his first year as a head coach, man. I don't want to. I'm not even trying to hear that. You're a play caller. You're a play caller, and let the best play caller win. And guess what? Personnel be damned. This was very well schemed. Great job. You got to give credit to Bobby Babbage and Coach McDermott. Hell of a job. Thank you for reminding me to say it on my chest because it was necessary. It was
yeah.
absolutely necessary.
We talked about it at work. That's the only reason it came to mind. I'm like, is it the best? And then they were like, that Baltimore game, limiting Lamar to 3 points or whatever. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But this one is definitely number 2 in the postseason for sure.
I like it. I like it. So I'm glad that conversation was happening during the talk with the boys and stuff. So all right, let's get to it because there are some questions that I do have, and I want to get your opinion, more so opinions of what you saw. What did you see that the Jaguars were able to do to the run game? I was actually surprised. I really thought, damn all that number one run game. I just don't believe that they're going to be that great that they're going to stop this big defense, this big offensive line, and James Cook, your leading rusher in the league. How were they able to slow him down that great, that well?
Yeah, when you watch it back, their front seven was super violent. I mean, you want to talk about not just like initial shock. I'm talking about stacking shed. I'm talking about putting face up under chin strap. They did a really good job of just being disciplined. There were a few times where if you just did a still photo of when James Cook gets near the line of scrimmage, there are just a bunch of, I don't know what jerseys the Jags were wearing, but there are a bunch of opposing teams' jerseys sitting in each gap, just waiting on Ford to make a move. And there was just nowhere for him to go. So you just got to give kudos to the Jags. They clearly there was no fluke about why they were the best run defense in football this season. They were super physical. They were huge as well. I didn't go to the game, but like my colleagues say, they win the get off the bus award team where like they just get off the bus and those big boys, they definitely eat their cornbread. You feel me? So it's a big group and they play like it. They play very physical. That's why they're so susceptible to the play action though, because they are trying to get downhill and they are trying to get into those gaps. But yeah, I don't think every team is built like that. But I'm not about to sit up here and cry and not give them their flowers. They were outstanding at the point of attack in the run game.
Speaking of outstanding, big shout out to my man James Kehoe, the Mountain Man. My man said, "You know what? I appreciate you. I like you." He's like, "Yo, I'm gifting you 47." And I'm not a jersey guy typically, but when you rock in some of the better players on the squad, you got to represent. And he's one of my favorites on the team. But right now, it ain't about Christian Benford. Ladies and gentlemen, where in the heck did Trey White come out of? This boy got shot out of a cannon. A cannon. The amount of times that he was around the football, the amount of times that he got his hand in the play, the amount of times he was around the ball. Kudos to Trey White. It's like he took a serum and went back to, 2020, 2021. This boy was looking nice. Like, not thinking about his knee, not thinking about his Achilles. He was just playing ball. And I loved everything I saw about Trey White. Trey White deserves defensive game ball because that boy was all over the field. Talk to me about Trey White and where did this come from?
Yeah, man. For those who want to get my initial thoughts on what Trey White did, go to my Twitter, my TikTok, my YouTube. I did a nice 2-minute breakdown on just some of his best plays from that day. Broke it down and just with some of the ins and outs from it. But I joked about it on TV today that Trey White clearly been listening to that Mike Jones this offseason. Back then, They didn't want me. Now they want. They all on me. You feel me? And you go back to 2024. Bills let him go. LA pick him up. They said, we don't want you. Baltimore pick him up. They let him walk at the end of the year. The Bills pick him up. They said, hey, expectations ain't that high. You feel me? You earn your keep around here. Max go down. 2-7 guy go in the lineup. Struggle the first part of the year. Then that Patriots game happened in late December, and he ain't looked back since, man. It's just I don't have obviously in this profession, I don't have favorites. I don't have teams that I root for or whatever. I try my best to be objective as I can in this role, but you root for stories. Yep. And his story is something that I think that story is something that every single person, regardless color, creed, gender, any walk of life, sports, politics, news, whatever the case may be, we can all learn from what he's gone through to get to back where he is. I don't care if you have a setback in life, injury, whatever the case may be. His wherewithal, his grit, his determination to just continue to bounce back, not just from the injuries, but then his less than stellar play last year. How many people do you know that would have folded after the first one? Okay, then the Achilles. And then now that you finally healthy and back to the field and you not yourself no more, how many people would have failed after I know a lot of cats that would have failed that would have quit after what happened in LA. I know a lot more that would have quit after what happened in Baltimore. So just good for him, man. And he didn't. And here's the thing: this spot wasn't guaranteed to him. Max Hairston was the first round pick.
Facts.
So just huge shout out to him, man. And once again, I don't got guys that I root for, but that story, man, that rooting for that story 10 times out of 10.
And consider this clip, by the way. Let me keep it rolling because I have to. I've done this before, but I feel like people were calling me out, saying they want to get their shine. So they're like, "Hey, remember when you said? Remember that? Remember the off season when you? They love to remind people. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign that apology form to my man Trey White because when the Bills brought him back, I was not a fan of the move. The reason for it, not because I didn't like the individual, because everyone knows that he's not someone you can't like. You love the guy. But I just felt the Achilles, the ACL, his time with LA, his time with the Ravens. And I was like, what was the point? What are we doing? Why are we bringing guys back that we moved on from? And then I started thinking, you don't bring a guy back like Trey White for no reason. They're going to allow him to compete. And that was a debate that I was having with my man Z-Bot. And although I didn't like the move, but I understood that you don't bring a guy like Trey White back just to be in the backup role. They're going to let him compete. And if he does well, great. If he doesn't, at least we have backup and someone that is familiar with his defense. Boy, has he proven not only myself, but a whole lot of people and probably himself. He probably proved it to himself that I still got it. I absolutely still got it. And this brother said, I'm here. I'm back to how I'm feeling. And right now you got Christian Benford and you got Trey White that's feeling like old Trey White. That's a very nice combination to have. So big shout out to Trey because I did not think that he could play at this level based on the injuries and all the things that was taking place. And he's a few years older. So all those things were going up against him. But now you look at that and you're like, you can only marvel and say, congratulations, you're doing it. Well, we got 3 more to go. Now that all that, you know what I'm saying, apologies out the way, you got 3 more to go. Now the pressure's back on. The pressure's back on. So big shout out to my man, Trey White. Love what he's doing. man, it is exciting to see. And how you close that game out with the batted ball, interception by Cole Bishop. My gosh. So like I'm excited about this defensive backfield. They're a top defensive backfield for a reason. But here's my question, former defensive back guru that you are. What is it about this defensive backfield that's got just people like quarterbacks all out of whack and confused and don't know what's happening? What's up with that? It's not like they have like all-stars all over the place. Christian Benford, very good corner. Cole Bishop, up-and-coming safety. Jordan Poyer, old savvy vet. Him out. Jordan Hancock in. And then Trey White. What is with this defensive backfield that's got teams kind of like, shoot, I gotta make sure I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah. So for those of you guys in the chat, I'm going to give you two separate examples, and hopefully it'll give you a cleaner picture. When you watch the Houston Texans and they're secondary, their back five, if you want to include the nickel cornerback, it's nothing really funky. It's just that they're bigger, faster, and stronger than you, and they hate you. So they just want to just line up and play ball. The Bills don't play that way. The Bills instead play with a lot of disguise. So, for example, when Trevor Lawrence or Bo Nix this Saturday breaks the huddle, he is going to see one picture. He is going to see Jordan Poyer in the deep middle, or Jordan Hancock in the deep middle, Cole Bishop at the line of scrimmage. And then boom, at the snap of the ball, the picture changes and everything moves. So it's a combination of the guys being super intelligent, being able to play all over the formation and being able to disguise pre and post snap. And as well, I think there is a lot of the fact that these guys can actually also play. Like we've made a lot, and myself included, have made a lot of the disguise that they've done over the past month of the year. But there are a bunch of plays when they just line up and say, let's roll that ball out and let's go play ball, they win those reps as well. So I think I do want to tone down the chatter of, oh, it's only disguise, and that's not giving the guys in the arena enough credit. Because listen, they don't play like the Broncos or Texans where they just roll the ball out there and let's just get into a knock 'em out slug fight. But there are a decent enough reps where they are man-to-man. Like, if you go to my ex, I showed you like 3-4 reps of Trey in man. He didn't get the ball on those plays, but he was in man coverage. Those just won't get highlighted on the broadcast. So I think those are some of the similarities and what makes this secondary so good and why they are playing at probably like a top 10 level over the last month of the season.
I'd like to. I'm so glad you brought that up, because this is the second time you brought it up. So I'm picking up on your cues, and sir, we've been doing it a long time. So I'm feeling your vibe. So Trey White footage. I mean, we got to talk about it. I mean, I need a little voiceover from you. Are you good with a little voiceover while I play the clip?
You want me to voice? The video has a voiceover.
I know the video. I'm muting the video. I want you to talk to the audience so they see what you're saying. You feel me? Because I got to pick up on the cues, brother. The cue, man. Listen, man. If you look at the footage is there. I hear you. I hear you. So let me press play here, and then you can kind of walk us through it, so you know your own video.
Yeah. So basically, you let it go. We good. Let it go. So Trey White played phenomenal. Let's go to the final play of the game here. Trey's at the bottom of the screen, as you can see. It's man coverage, physical, tight, shooting right through the pocket. Teach tape right there. Physical ball game. But then here's another example of just him being physical where he doesn't get the ball. That's Brian Thomas Jr. in front of him. No spear, no. But run it back, though. This is where the technique comes into play.
All right, let me run it back right about here.
In this specific coverage, Trey White is supposed to be inside and underneath. Where does he end up?
Inside and underneath.
So if Trevor Lawrence throws that ball, that's either a pick six or that got to be the greatest ball of his life. So then you can fast forward a little bit because it's a voiceover on that play. But that, once again, that's a technician that is executing the game plan and what's asked of you. Okay, we can pause it here. So in this play right here, it's another form of cover four. It's like a bastardized version of man coverage. Long story short, Trey White, if there is anything that's immediately out, we got to jump it like a bat out of hell. We can roll it here, and because you know exactly what happens here. The old vet, he is going to see his cues. He sees that number 2. He comes out, I believe, around like a 5-yard mark. It's a coverage called palms that you learn very young. When once again, it's a different version of cover 4. Number 2 comes out, bop, foot in the dirt. Let's go make a play.
Gosh. Let me tell you something.
And the click and close. You put them spikes on the ground. Let's get out of dodge, man. And that's just amazing, man. And then this one is your traditional cover 3 that everyone plays on Thanksgiving in the backyard, but none of y'all can execute it because y'all all slow here in the chat. Once again, It's just
read
four
it.
verts. His first four verts and his click and close to just read that, stay on top of everything. In this coverage, cover 3, what can you not get? What cannot happen? You cannot get beat deep.
That's
But if
correct.
you play it right, you can undercut it and make a play. That's exactly what Trey White did here, man. He played phenomenal. And then this one was just another example, just good, man. I just showed it at the top of the screen, man, because he just super sound. And I said it
Listen,
on
Kobe.
I said it on TV the other day as well. Trey White's not playing good for someone coming off of 2 injuries. He's just a good cornerback, period. But you're right though. If Cole Bishop doesn't make this tackle here, that's a house call.
Oh my gosh. That's a house call, my lord. All right. I don't know if you I want to know if you recall this play. It was the first Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown. And Trey was right there. And it was like it wasn't computing, but had he seen it,
it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot.
It was a tough spot, but I was like, man, you were there if you wanted to. Oh. So I'm just glad that I have you on the show, because the DB that you are, you see it, you live it, you love it. I love that you just see it, and I'm hoping that translates into it, because like, you know how it is, cornerback, whether you play cornerback, running back, receiver, you have a game like that, bro. You feeling mighty nice for the next game. You're like, yo, Troy Franklin, Sutton, Mims, what you want? I got you. So
let's go to work. Yep.
Let's go to work. It's gonna be fun. So I'm so glad that you broke that down for us. So let me get to this for you. We're gonna kind of move on a little bit to what's your time frame looking like today?
I can go to about like 9-10.
All right, give or take. All right, so we talking about this team, this Bills team, and we know that's a talented team. We know that. We also know that they're also a flawed team, right? They were the 6th seed. Whether you want to call it, they're a 6th seed for a reason. Regardless, the fact is they're not a perfect team, but they're a strong team. But that's one of the teams that you just never count out. What is it about this Bills team that you're like, you can't take them for sweet, but you still got to respect them? What is it about this squad that no matter the injuries you're hearing about, bro, you can't just let these guys, you can't take them for granted? What are your thoughts on that when you see these injuries piling up and they're still competing at a high level?
It starts with the leadership at the top, with the head coach and the quarterback. And I know there's a lot of people who feel a certain type of way of Sean McDermott, and I'm not here to tell you how you should or shouldn't feel about another grown man, but I will tell you that the guys in that building, they will run through a wall for him, and they have supreme confidence in him. And so when it is the third quarter and maybe they are getting ran all over and he's coming back to the sideline and saying, yo, I got the fix for us to figure this out, those guys believe it, and they start playing with their hairs on fire. And then when you see your quarterback with a foot injury, when you see your quarterback lose his helmet and have to go to the medical tent, when you see your quarterback bruise his finger on the back of someone's helmet, when you see your quarterback almost lose his knee on the goal line and he goes back out there, goes back to the medical tent, act like nothing's wrong with him, what is that supposed to do to you as a player who's his teammate? And I think that when it starts with those two guys at the top, it's infectious. It bleeds down to everyone else. They brought in a bunch of players who have similar and likewise mentalities. You're right. They're an imperfect team. They're the 6th seed for a reason. And listen, if the season were to end Saturday, I don't know if anyone will be like, oh my gosh, that is the most craziest upset that's ever happened. But I would also say they would not go out without a fight. We've seen that all year. This team they've outside of the Miami game, they haven't had a game where it just looked like they just didn't have it at all that day on either side of the ball. So I think that just speaks to the leadership at the top with the quarterback and head coach.
Love that you mentioned that leadership. I do want to get your thoughts on it. I mean, it's a controversial topic, especially for defenders. And I'm gonna let me get right into it. What do you think I'm gonna go? Where do you think I'm going?
You talking about the tush push?
Nah, not even. Not even. We can get into that. I'm good with the tush push. I don't even.
Yeah, I'm not even tripping on the tush push. You play offense. I'm sure you are. What up?
I'm not even tripping on the tush push, but I am talking about, and this is gonna affect you too. Gabe Davis's injury, nasty. All right, and I don't remember the player, but I know his number 42 with the long hair.
Wingard, yeah.
What's his name? Wingard?
Andrew Wingard, I believe, yes.
Wingard went low, bro. Unnecessarily low. And it was like, and that to me, as an offensive player, I'm defenseless, man. I got 2 guys already on me. You're not even making a play on the ball. You just went straight from my knees. Now I get it. You're not supposed to hit high. So you got no choice but to hit low. I can't stand that. So when you see that, is there such thing as, yo, bro, unnecessary little bro? Or, yo, I got to bring him down by any means necessary. I got to do it. Sorry, not sorry.
I wouldn't do that in practice, but in a game, hey man, anything goes. Especially because if I hit you any higher than that and you duck your head, who's losing $20,000 out of their paycheck? Like, how many times a week do y'all see a receiver be 6 foot across the middle, then duck, and all of a sudden he's 5'6"? How's the DB supposed to know that in 0.2 seconds? So I hear everybody, and I hate pulling the card like, oh, you know, you didn't play ball, like you don't know what it's supposed to be like. I'll just say this: it is really hard to change the launch angle, excuse me, at 15, 16 miles per hour when the person across from you is also moving at 15, 16 miles per hour. And when they can drop they head in a split second. And listen, if I'm aiming here, right? If I'm aiming for your rib cage and all of a sudden you just do this and then I hit you right here, who's losing the game check?
Yep.
Me. And who's losing 15 yards? Me. And listen, I get it. We talked about this so much in college where, like, I would have so many players tell me, give me a concussion because that's 2 weeks. My knee is 9 months. And that's what I say. And that's why, like, but don't get mad at me. Get mad at the rule makers who are phasing those type of hits out of the game. The rule makers are telling me to hit you low. I know us Geico, we want to keep it up top. And I get you. I feel you. I would much rather have a concussion than go low as well. But like the launch angles change so often, it's impossible. It truly is. And it's a disgusting hit, man. I pray for Gabe and his recovery. But like you see once a game, receivers literally catch the ball and then crab over the middle. I literally saw Nico Collins every time he go over the middle, he started at 6'4" and then end up 5'3". And it's just like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
No, I get it. Like, and the more I'm looking at this hit, I mean, I still think it's unnecessarily low. But I mean, at the end of the day, your job is to tackle and bring the guy low. But it just seems like it's just the angle, the way his leg plants into the ground. There's a whole lot of stuff that's taking place.
Nasty. Also, Gabe's a big dude. Dude. If I hit him up high and he run through it, he run right through my ass.
Right. No, it's tough, man. I mean, I hate it because it's you feel bad. Obviously, no player. Wingard probably feel like shit. I didn't want to do that to him.
Facts. You know what
I mean? And everybody's trying to like, yo, play this game and go home, and then we'll go from there. But it's unfortunate because now, in which makes this transition, it makes this offense even harder for Josh Allen. What is he supposed to do? Like, dude, you got Brandon Cooks. Now you don't have Gabe Davis. You don't have Tyrell Chambers. Let's get into that Tyrell Chambers situation before we start getting into the numbers. So Gabe is gone. He's out for the season. You hope that he can come back and play football after this. But I mean, one would never know because I thought Trey White, bro, Achilles ACL, bro, he ain't coming back. That's too hard, especially as a DB. You can never count anybody out. Right. And then Gabe was already dealing with this injury and he never really looked the same. And now he does it again. So it's like, man, this could be it. Or he comes back and he's back to tip-top shape. One will never know, right? But now Tyrell Shavers out, ACL. Played on that sucker the whole second half. He said, yo, brace me up. Let's roll. I just banged it. I was probably a loose MCL. Who knows what they thought it was or what he told them it was. He braced that thing and played the whole game. Fam. Bro, they're down two big time receivers that help in terms of the run game and that pretty much take the defense off a little bit, right? To kind of give you something. They know the offense very well. So now you're down to Brandon Cooks that just got here a month ago. Now you're down to Keon Coleman that's been benched several times, right? He's in the offense right now. And now Khalil Shakir, he's been thankfully healthy and a reliable piece. Now what? What are these Bills doing? Well, what are they going to do with the back end of that situation? And Josh Palmer out. Disappointment all year, but he gone. Talk to me, your thoughts, your what you've been hearing. You know what I'm saying? And what your colleagues are talking about.
Calling God, and then if he don't answer the phone, leave a voicemail, and then when you leave the voicemail, call back and see what
Man,
God got to say about this. In all seriousness, it's a tough spot to be in, but if I were to
it
spin it
is.
in a more optimistic viewpoint, Tyrell and Gabe weren't big contributors in terms of the passing game. They were great on the perimeter in the run game. They were fantastic. A big reason why
Yeah.
they won that Steelers game. They were mauling guys in that department. Even on the perimeter screens, how many times have you seen the screen passes where they spit it out to Khalil, they spit it out to Dalton? Who's leading the way? Is usually 14 or 13. And then when you think about the failed screens, how many times was it Josh Palmer leading the way? Or how many times was it a Curtis Samuel that was leading the way one of those times, and they didn't convert those, did they? So I think those guys are going to be missed in that regard. They're probably going to have to lean into more 12 personnel. So that means you're going to have Cooks as well as Shakir out there. Maybe you take Keon in there and take Cooks or Shakir off the field, whenever the case may be. Lean into more Knox and Kincaid, which may not be the worst game plan this week against the Broncos, where even when y'all was healthy, it's not like y'all was going to throw for 500 against them boys just based off of y'all personnel, right? But the one downside about leaning in with so much 12 personnel, your joker card in 12 personnel is Kincaid, and he's not healthy. So like Kincaid is still on a injury management plan to where he can only practice with so much because they want to make sure he's fresh, but he still don't play only but 45% of the snaps. So it's a tough spot to be in, but I don't think it's catastrophic. It's just that they can't afford any more bruises. None. Like I think that they will probably get Curtis back. I will say that they'll probably call McCole Hardman off from the practice squad. So they will have the bodies, but in terms of, I think, two areas where you will feel it the most is perimeter screens and then the run game.
So this is what the receiver room is going to look like, huh? So it's going to be Brandon Cook, Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Miko Hardman, and Curtis Samuel. Welcome back, Curtis Samuel.
I told you call God.
Listen, we can call the Lord, but I'm going to tell you, man. I mean, listen, they could get on the phone and call a certain someone they had at the beginning of the year that was itching to get the ball in his hands.
No.
But it doesn't seem like they want to go that route because they went and got Christian Wilkinson. Now, Christian Wilkinson can run now because there was time in preseason. I mean, it is preseason, but he was making some noise in preseason and at practice. So, I mean, I think he's got some size to him too. I don't think he's a small guy. I don't, if I recall. So, bro, I just don't like that part, man. We lose two big pieces, and I get it. People are gonna say Gabe Davis, man. Who cares? Tyrell Shavers, he was your fifth receiver, bro. You chilling, bro. But it's one of those things that they're still contributors. They're still contributors and what make this offense move. So that'll be tough. But 17, he's got no choice. I must have heard him say, some guys just got to step up. He must have said it like 8 times in his press conference. So if that's not a message to the whole receiving crew, bro, one of y'all step up. The ball's coming your way. Please help me. You know what I'm saying? He is going to be saying, help me. I'm throwing you on the football. Please catch it. And if you do, and you're trustworthy enough, I'll keep going to you. But it's like, fam, he's gonna be screaming, "Help me!" like all day. So we're gonna see. I got my man Money Mitch coming through. He says, "Hey, Carl Jones, the best on News 4. Go Bills and Bucks will be back, my friend. I'm happy for Indiana. Hard not to root for them." So he's letting you know he's showing you some love, but and he's letting you know that,
shout out to you too, my man. Unfortunately, I am not happy for Indiana. They can rest in whatever you want to, whatever afterlife you believe in. They can rest in that. I'm a young bull, so I think the U was cool. You feel me? And I'm rocking with the Canes this Monday. Unfortunately, I feel you, big dog. I feel like a real Ohio State fan. They can't root for Miami. I can't root for IU, dog. Just something about them is just nasty.
Stop hating.
I'm a hater. What you mean? Hating is my third name.
All right, let me actually let's direct the hate somewhere else. All right, the Broncos. The Broncos. Let's talk about this Broncos offense. Let's talk about this defense. Let's talk about this defense first of all. Nick Bonito. You got Zach Allen.
Yeah.
You got a bevy of defenders that fly to the football. They're one of the best defenses, if not the number one. They're a top 5 defense in the league. as we speak. Let me just make sure I'm speaking truth right now. So they're allowing 18 points a game, which ranks them number 4 defensively. And yards per game, they're allowing 278 yards per game, which ranks them number 2 in the game. So they're a top 5 defense through and through. Defensively, they stop the run very well. They're a top 5 defense stopping the run. We went from playing a tough defense against the Jaguars and another tough defense against the Denver Broncos. What is it about this defense that's got them playing hot right now? I mean, they were one of the best defenses in the game. Like, what is it about them? They're light, but they're quick and fast. What is it about them that gives issues to teams?
Yeah, you hit it on the head right there. They're a very fast team, and they're physical, and they make up for that lack of size with how violent they play. I think the 2 players that made the biggest difference to the Broncos defense this year is the guys right up the spine. You've heard me talk about it before, where I thought the Bills have struggled in the past was right up that spine, the D tackles all the way back to the safeties. And when they brought in Dre Greenlaw, for those who don't know who that is, he was Fred Warner's running mate in San Francisco for the last 4 years. And that brother is physical as all get out. He sees opposing color and he hits it. And then right behind him or next to him, depending on the formation, is Talanoa Hufanga, all-pro safety with the Niners, and now he's with the Broncos.
This guy,
man. He's insane. He
flies.
I don't know if he's Hawaiian, but the name Hufanga is
Samoan, maybe.
Samoan. I think it's Samoan. I think it's Samoan or Polynesian. But he's a very violent player in his own right. If he is near the line of scrimmage, I promise you, he is just trying to hit another team's helmet. Like, I don't think he really cares about nothing else. He's just a very physical player. So that's how they kind of make up for their lack of size, is how violent they play. And then Bills fans, those 2 players weren't there last year, so they'll be new to the matchup. They have fantastic defensive backs. Obviously, Pat Surtain is probably the best cornerback in football. Riley Moss is not just good for a white cornerback. He is a good cornerback. So I think that he is someone that you guys will know a lot about. You mentioned the edges, and I think they get a lot of sacks. I believe they're like top 10 in NFL history with the 68 they've gotten this year.
Nice.
But I think there is a substantial gap between the Texans and Seahawks and the rest of the NFL in terms of the defenses. I think the Texans and Seahawks can play any game you ask them to. If they want to make it into a phone booth, they can stop the run. If you want them to get after the pass rusher with 4, they can do that too. The Broncos are best when they have the lead because they are much lighter on the outside. Nick Benito's 240, Jonathan Cooper's maybe 258 soaking wet. Jonathan Allen, I believe, is like 275, 280 in the middle. They aren't a big team. Thank you for pulling up those numbers. They aren't a big team. So that means they are much better getting after the passer. So if you are the Buffalo Bills on offense, you run the rock, make sure that you're never in 3rd and long. You want to make sure it's always 3rd and 5 or less. If you are living in that world, you have a much better chance because those small guys can't turn the corner on 3rd and 2. On 3rd and 9, shoot. We turn in the corner, and now we turn this bad boy into a NASCAR race. So I think if you are the Buffalo Bills, that is the way you attack them. And then one more area, I mentioned how physical and violent and how fast those guys up the middle play. Well, what's one way to combat that is play action and misdirection. I do think for all of the good things I said about Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga, I do think they can be got with misdirection and play action down the middle of the field. So if Kincaid is healthy, whatever he can give you, same thing with a Dawson Knox up the seams. I think in an ideal world, you would need big games out of those 2.
Is this going to be the Bills' toughest match? Defense, like offense, our offense going up against their defense. Jaguars, they presented different challenges, right? They still flew to the football. They smacked the hell out of you. We're playing something somewhat different, similar, but I think the advantage, and you mentioned it earlier, is it's the size difference. I mean, look at the difference. Deion Dawkins, 320 to Benito's, what? It was a 240 that I see there. Like, it makes I would think it makes a difference. Allen, 285, good size. You got Edwards. That's going to be a battle. These 2 boys are going to be going. That's 20-pound difference, 25-pound difference, right? Then you got 318, 305. I mean, to me, that's Jones and McGovern. They're going to go at it. And you got Torrance, 350 to 288. Yo, we just got to move these boys out the way. I mean, it's going to be no different than last year because the defense, I think Greenlaw is the only difference if I'm correct.
Hufanga.
Oh, and
Oh,
Hufanga was with the
the Niners.
49ers, correct?
Yeah, they both were with the Niners last year. Yeah,
With the Niners. So I mean, that's a big boost. I ain't gonna lie, that's a big boost. I
but
mean,
those guys not on the defensive line though.
but they do fly. I mean, they put
Yeah, no,
six,
they do. No, it
five,
do
six
feel
in the
like
box. Boy, it presents the difference. So I'm hoping that these boys and this is what it comes down to. And this is I'm hoping that you can help me out here.
yeah.
I don't believe we're going to win one-on-one. It ain't gonna be that way. When I'm talking about one-on-one, I'm talking about our receivers against their DBs. I just don't see it. This is all gonna be scheme. It's got to be scheme. Joe Brady is going to have to out scheme the Broncos. And we did it last year. It wasn't that we were that much, I mean, we're pretty much running with the same crew somewhat, probably somewhat say even less. But we schemed them, we ran the ball, and we did what we needed to do. So I'm hoping that's the same idea that goes into this game. Some folks are looking at Bo Nix and saying, Bro Nix is the difference maker here. Bo Nix, if he comes out playing poo-poo, bro, Bill's got this. But he's got 4 to 5 comebacks. These guys have been winning these one-score games, kind of like the Chiefs from last year. So
Yes.
when does this run out? Maybe this is the game that it runs out. And the Bills are like, nah, we ain't playing that game. So I don't know where I see this going. Like, I felt confident going into the Jags game. And I feel still confident going into this game. But it's like, man, it's the unknown. I don't know too much about these Broncos. I got to start watching that film and go from there. So my curiosity is like, man, where are these Bills going to find the weakness in this defense? That's what I'm trying to think. I'm hoping that
I'm gonna give you
can kind of share some insight.
I'll give you 2 advantages and then 1 disadvantage.
Yes, sir.
Heading into Saturday for the Buffalo Bills. 1 advantage on the offensive side of the ball. I think the Broncos' strengths work on most teams. The Bills aren't built like most teams. It's a great thing to have Pat Surtain and Riley Moss against 98% of the NFL. Cool.
We ain't got number 1.
Cool. Like,
yeah.
Cool. Like, whatever. Like, so I think that bodes in the Bills' favor. And when you see all of those sacks that they rack up, a lot of them is because they have a lead. And I think that if the Bills are able to run the rock on them, you can take advantage of a run game, which I don't think is bad. I just think is more above average. It's not elite like the Jags are if you look at some of the advanced metrics. And on the other side of the ball, when I think of the style of quarterbacks that Sean McDermott gives fits, is Bo Nix. Those guys who get frenetic in the pocket, and when the picture changes post-snap, they start to see ghosts a little bit. Bo Nix is that type of quarterback. So I think if you are the Buffalo Bills and if you are a fan of the Bills, that's one area where you should feel pretty good about heading into Saturday. Now, one disadvantage that is not tangible, you can't really put a value on it, you can't put a number on it, but it's there. And we're just going to find out Saturday how much of a difference it's going to make. 2 things. Well, 3. Playing on the road in one of the more hostile environments in football. I mean, Mile High is his own thing. Playing at altitude is his own thing. Like, yep. I mean, it is. Like, there's a reason why everyone always makes a big deal about playing in Denver and Utah. It is what it is. And then also short rest. Like, I think all of those factors, you're on 6 days rest against a team that's been off 2 weeks. Quite frankly, I know they played against the Chiefs and they played their starters, but if you go back and watch that game, I swear to living sweet baby Jesus, the Broncos acted like that game on offense was like a varsity game. They used the most vanilla concepts ever. They knew we can beat the Chiefs' third stringers with just like an elementary game. So I'm not really putting much stock into that game. So they've been off for 3 weeks.
Some people are though. Some people are putting stock. They're like, "Yo, you barely beat the Chiefs."
Yeah, go watch that game back and you tell me how many vanilla. You watch that game back and how many of them plays you like. Damn, I ran that on Madden. So like,
all right.
Now, look, I don't think their offense is great, but like week 18 is not one game for me to take a lot from. So I think those are the 2 advantages, a disadvantage, from my viewpoint heading into Saturday.
And I'm looking at the Broncos offense. I mean, they're middle of the pack offensively, right? Mm-hmm. They're scoring 23 points a game, ranked middle of the pack, 14th in the league. Yards per game, 340, ranked 10th. Yards per play, 5.3. That's ranked middle of the pack. Third down conversions, they're just outside the top 10. They're converting on a 41% rate. Defensively, they're letting their opponents convert 33%, which is number 2 in the league. So that's a whole nother ball game. We'll save that for Friday's show. But for the most part, offensively, they're all right. Running the football, right? 4.4 yards a pop. That's 14th in the league. Rush yards per game, 118, 15th in the league, middle of the pack. But no different than what the Jaguars presented. And the Jaguars put up 150. So RJ Harvey, he's going to be running the rock. And we'll see how it all shakes out in the end. All right. Before you get out of here, I do have a couple more topics to hit with you. And first, we're going to talk about the coaching carousel. All right.
Yeah.
So Harbaugh, he's a free man. He can do what he wants. Mike Tomlin, somewhat of a free man. They still hold his rights, allegedly. So they might hold on to him and trade him. Who knows what they'll do? But I'm sure they'll do right by him. If he says, yo, just let me go where I want to go, maybe that's what they do. Or they say, hey, this is business. I don't know what they'll do. So let's talk about coaching opportunities and coaching vacancies. Could you see Mike Tomlin going to the Arizona Cardinals? Would that be a good fit?
No.
Perfect. What about the Atlanta Falcons?
More so than Atlanta, but still not great now.
Would John Harbaugh be a good fit for the Atlanta Falcons?
John Harbaugh? Yes, I would see that. Yes, I can see that.
I don't know if I see that, but maybe I can see it. Tomlin going to Baltimore.
Nah, that's the beef is too strong. Nah.
You think so?
Nah, it's just
listen. Owner was like, yo, I didn't like when he did this, but I mean, he was like, holy shit, they let him go. I mean, do you want your franchise to win? Is it? I mean, as an owner, you can do what the heck you want, but wouldn't that be a good look though?
It'll be a wild look. I mean, that'd be
it would be wild.
Be the Housewives of Baltimore type of situation.
But it'd be something else. What about if I were to say Tomlin, Cleveland?
I'm sure my family back in Cleveland would love it. Yeah.
But you're going back to the north. You get to play. You're still in the north. You don't go nowhere. Tomlin going out there. I find that fascinating. I don't know if I like it there. Harbaugh, Cleveland.
He grew up a Cleveland fan, so I mean, I'm sure people back at the crib will love it. But I don't think that's the situation that's best for him either. No.
Miami Dolphins is open. Either one of them, Harbaugh, Tomlin. Those are the two top coaches I'm talking about. What about those two? What about that?
I would say Harbaugh is a better fit for the Dolphins than Tomlin is.
Vegas Raiders, stay away from that team completely, or is one of them good for that?
Neither need to go there. No, neither say F off.
New York Giants.
Harbaugh should sign with them today.
That would be not a bad fit. I'll tell you right now, I'm looking at the Tennessee Titans, and I could totally see Tomlin fitting in just right with Tennessee. Your thoughts on that?
I can see it as well. I mean, I don't know Cam Moore personally, but I can just tell that their personalities will mesh like a glove.
It would, man. This guy's intense. Tomlin's intense. You catch what I'm trying to do. Yo, Lee, I'll do what I need to do. You lead your troops on the offense, bro. We got it. He just got to get a good offensive coordinator. But these days, everybody's looking for an offensive-minded coach. So who knows what it is? I saw a really good argument about Mike McCarthy to Cleveland. That would be something.
Cleveland needs a grown-up. They
do.
Because they're not ready to contend for any time soon. So might as well just try to build up the equity you got there and build up some maturity in that building. Yep. But they're at least a year away from being a year away.
I like it. All right, last topic for me, and I'm gonna let you go. Lynn Johnson.
Oh man, I knew we was gonna talk about this one.
Lynn Johnson's been making the rounds, and I gotta ask my boy to drop me his opinion on this Lynn Johnson fiasco. And I call it a fiasco because I don't think it should be gaining the attention that it's gaining as hard as it's coming out. For those that are unfamiliar with Ms. Lynn Johnson, Lynn Jones. Excuse me, Lynn Jones. Thank you for that. So Miss Lynn Jones is part of the Black Free Press, excuse me, and she's been in the business a long time. She's been doing it for a minute, and she had an opportunity to make a statement, pretty much, to head coach of the Jaguars, Liam Cohen, pretty much telling him to pick your head up. You're great for this organization, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, just being nice.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, did the uh, the boys club of writing, the writing club, came for her neck. Was like, yo, what kind of BS is this? This ain't Mr. You know what I mean? You can't be nice in this. You got to ask professional questions, et cetera, et cetera. And she decided to clap right back, which I love, by saying, yo, I got receipts. I've sat with the best of them, I've asked questions, and that's what I want. And she said something that was great. She goes, when you get the mic, you say what you want to say. You have the right to be in these chairs. You say what you want to say. Whether it's a question, a statement, you say it. Go on and get your rocks off. And I have a problem with people coming for her neck because they don't like what she asked or the statement she made. Yet I hear bozo questions constantly from reporters, and I'm like, what kind of nonsense question is that?
Right.
Happens all the time.
Yep.
Your thoughts, and I don't want to say your thoughts. I'm going to put you on the spot. Right or wrong for what her question statement or what she said to that coach in that moment, that time?
Man, that's a lot right there. And
It is a lot. It is a lot.
It is a lot. I want to preface this by saying, when I first saw it in the moment without any context whatsoever, I was like, yo, she wilding. But then I started to learn more about Miss Lynn Jones and what she's done in that community and who she is. And then I started to remove myself from the situation. I don't have any problem with it at all, actually. And I thought that it was appropriate for what she is. My job as a sports reporter here in Channel 4 in Buffalo is to report the sports, and send it back to my readers, and then offer my commentary at times. Ms. Lynn Jones' role is much different than mine. She is not a sports reporter. She does not cover sports. She is what you just laid out eloquently as someone who is a reporter through the Freedom Press, but she also, her paper is explicitly someone who speaks for the community. And I think that is the big difference, that a lot of people are kind of stuck in the old ways. And she's not. Here's the thing, though. She is legacy media. And I think that's the one thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way when some people say, oh, well, the way we've done things is not how you operate. She's been operating that newspaper, or part of that newspaper, for the better part of 2 decades now. So this is just how she gets down. And that's the way that she conveys her information to her readers, and her readers appreciate and like that information. Would I operate in that manner? No. But there are a bunch of questions that legacy media, legacy writers that are much more established than me, I don't like their questions either, but I respect it and they get their point across. Also, I think a lot of people in this climate, and you can blame it on politics, whatever the case may be, reporters kind of like trying to express their complaints to social media, to the world at large, it will never land right, because our jobs is so unique in weird ways that it will never come across as normal to like someone who is not in our position. So people who are crying wolf, it just will never land right. So I don't know what you're doing it for. So listen, I appreciate what she did. I thought it was dope. My job isn't to do that, so I would never do that in 10 million years. I would never say that to Sean McDermott. But if someone who had a similar publication to what Miss Lynn Jones has down there in Jacksonville, up here in Buffalo, and they made the same exact comment when I was in the press conference room, oh, I wouldn't know what that publication stands for. I'm like, oh, okay, she's speaking for the people on the west side, on the east side of Buffalo. He is speaking for. So you know what I'm trying to say? Because there are so many different forms of media now, and listen, this thing is blown up out of proportion, and a lot of it is because a lot of old heads is stuck in the old ways.
Old heads.
She's not a sports reporter, y'all. Like, that's what I'm not. That's what I don't think people picking up here.
But you're here for sports. Why do you have to even encourage him? Yet you'll have a bozo reporter try to dig and try to get Shedeur Sanders to pit him against the coach. Hey, do you think you agreed with that call the coach made? F off with that dumb question. I love when players call them out. And I'll even go further. You don't got to comment on this. There's some guys that I see in your press room now, and I hear things from all these other places too. Don't get me wrong. Like, just because I'm in Canada don't mean I don't talk to some people that know some people that know some people. And there's some people in that room, and I think Mookie does a great job on what he does, and he connects with these players, and these players connect back. And don't forget, I have some relationship with some players on the squad too, and we talk when I go to these Buffalo events. And bro, I'm gonna tell you something, man. there is that little boys club in all media rooms, Buffalo,
Yeah.
Jacksonville, wherever, bro. If you, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get at is this, man. Yo, ask your question, do your job, and move on. Whatever this guy's doing or that girl's doing, bro,
Thank
that's
you, man.
business.
And maybe because I'm young and I'm just operating differently, I don't really care what the next man got going on and how they get down.
Facts.
Whatever. Because here's the thing: out of the 20 questions that are asked, my audience in television, there are only certain questions that can go, or answers that can go on TV. You know what I'm trying to say? Like if Josh Allen just says yes or no, imagine me putting yes on TV, just a 2-word second. That doesn't work. So I'm going for specific answers on TV. We aren't doing the same jobs there. Her job was clearly different, and good for her, man. I'm shout out to Miss Lynn Jones. Love all the Black queens and everything that she got going on down there, man. Once again, I thought Shorty was wilding when I first seen it, but she's not a sports. Like honestly, I thought she was like ESPN. Like now, I'll say this: if ESPN Jacksonville made that comment, you wilding. Like why is ESPN shouldn't be talking like that. NBC shouldn't be talking like that. But she's literally someone who created her newspaper to spread positivity on the Black people in Jacksonville. She wanted to spread the beacon of truth and spread love and peace and positivity on the people. That is the origin of her newspaper. So forgive me for having some sympathy for someone who wants to spread love and positivity, and her viewers, her readers want to spread. Her viewers and readers believe that Liam Cohen has done a great job at uplifting that community. Pardon me, I'm sorry that's how she wants to convey the message from her viewers to her. But once again, my medium wouldn't do that. But who gives a damn? That's not my medium. I don't know. It's a lot of old heads who be when you know what they say, listen, right?
I get it.
The thing about the old days, they the old days.
Catch up is what we say. Catch up. It's a new audience, new audiences. There's new ways to do things. I mean, not everybody. I mean,
she's been here 25 years. That's why they be violating her. That's why my beef is. That's why my beef is with her. Because
they tried to violate. They tried to violate. She clapped right back. I don't know what you're talking about.
When he said, "I'll I interviewed Tiger. I interviewed the president, Barack Obama."
Yes,
who are you talking to? That's the thing. And I'm sure you've heard this 10,000 times. And I know for people in the chat, y'all probably think I'm rambling, but this is something that it pisses me off too.
Passionate about, man. Talk about it, baby.
Where people be like, "Oh, like the new media and all that good type of stuff." What you eat don't make me shit. What you eat don't take food off my plate. We are all part of the same ecosystem. Sure, are there things that I don't agree with? Yeah, that's what the block button's for, the mute button for. I don't get testy by people who don't. When I don't like something, I don't look at it. That's the problem with a lot of y'all cats. Y'all like being miserable. Y'all just like living in misery and pain and all that. So like, Cassandra, shout out to you, man. Like, there's a lot of miserable people out here. That's what it is. A lot of y'all see stuff and run to the misery. I run away from it. I got a fiance that I like and I want to hold her. How about that?
Listen, I like that, man. Yo, hold on to your fiance. Don't be. Listen, that's one thing that I won't do is to get into. You'll never see me in this Twitter beef nonsense. And when people try to attack me personally, bro, is that serious, bro? I don't even do the block button. I just, all right, I keep it pushing. It's just not that serious. Yo, life is way too short. So shout out to you because I knew I could get something from you. You got to beat the sweat.
We can talk about that once a week. I ain't gonna hold you. There's a lot of stuff about this industry that I learned, and I love my industry. Don't get it twisted. I love my industry. I love them to death. I love my job. But
then I'm gonna press you even harder because I'd love to get the insight. But I'm gonna tell you right now, this has nothing to do with you. This is just me. We can't all be. Could you imagine if there was a whole bunch of John Wall rolls in a press room? Are you kidding me? That thing will be done in 2 minutes. The amount of negativity that comes from this brother, man, I can't. There's a lot of people that can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? So can you imagine that? Or you get a beacon of light from Lynn Jones comes in and says, "Hey man, keep your head up, coach. You did a great job, et cetera, et cetera." Can you imagine looking over and be like, what is she talking about? Yo, and number one thing that reporters are supposed to do, check your sources. Check your sources. Check who that is. Who is Lynn Jones? Oh, snap. She's an OG in the game. Let me be quiet. Anyway, sir. I enjoy having you on the show. I had to kind of touch that button to see what your thoughts were on it, and I love that I got some insight.
Yeah, that boy hit that red button for sure.
Hit that red button. All right, my G. Listen, enjoy yourself. I appreciate you, and we'll definitely, hopefully, we gonna be playing again next week. So we gonna be back at it.
That's the plan, my boy. Hey, y'all be blessed, man, and y'all stay safe out here in this wicked world. Be blessed.
Yes, sir. That's my guy, Carl Jones, in the building. I had to listen, man. I had to get his opinion on that because I'm gonna tell you right now, man. There's one thing that I do not stand for in my personal life is like is someone trying to flex on somebody else or like I don't mess with it. I stay clear from it. Anybody trying to, trying to get greasy on somebody for whatever reason, bro, I ain't gonna go for the injustice. Yo, you got this sweet lady coming in, and whether it was a lady or not, somebody uplifting somebody else let me tell you something, man. There are someone in your life. I'm gonna get personal. There are times in your life where you might be going through something. You might be going through some at a moment, time, and you're somewhere. Somebody might come to you and say something to you that you may not have expected at the time, that you would have expected it, but it uplifts you in that moment, right? It could be that, hey man, I love your shoes, bro. That fit looks great. You could have been having a terrible day, but somebody just complimented you on something. That changes your whole aspect. That changes everything. You don't know what that message from Lynn Jones did for Leon Cohen. You don't know if she was not there, how the rest of that press conference could have gone. He could have been negative. He could have said something that would have triggered more stuff for people to write and say, "Did you hear what he said?" Well, because of that positive message, it probably turned his whole attitude around to answer questions comfortably for the rest of the jackasses out there trying to dig after a heartbreaking loss. So in that moment, the good Lord put something on Lynn Jones's heart to say, "Hey man, keep your head up. You're good for Duval. Duval this and Duval that. Yo, bump all that negative nonsense. Guys have been in the business of writing for 40 years and say, you can't do that. Can't do what? Tell that brother that he's a damn good coach. Tell that brother that he's doing a great job. Keep it up." It took 27 seconds for her to give that message to that brother right there. And that 27 seconds of that uplifting message probably changed his outlook on the whole day, where he can go home to his family and say, "You know what? I got this." You have no idea what these moments can do to certain people. But you have the negative people that don't like it and want to push at it. And it's about the job and she's not doing the job. Man, bump that, man. God, that drives me nuts. Anyway, had to get that off my chest because golly, it just annoys me. How is that positive message affecting you doing your job? All right, you done? All right, let's get right back to it. Done. But they had to make it a thing, and you got everybody jumping in on it. And there's a lot of people that chimed in on this topic where I was a fan of that individual, and now I look at them differently. Not that I'm gonna stop taking in their content, but I'm gonna look at them differently. Like, oh, so that's how you feel? I bet. All right, I know where to put you. You know what I'm saying? Golly, and this is not even a woman man thing. This is not even a black and white thing. It could have been a 20-year-old just getting out of journalism school that said, "Hey, coach, I'm new to this thing, man, but I thought that you did a fantastic job." Anyway, let me get to my question or whatever the case is, man. Just it's that message in that time for someone. There's always there's the good Lord works on in mysterious ways, man. Sometimes there's a message that you needed, and it came from a perfect stranger. But that was enough to kind of uplift you for the day. And I'm done with that. I'm gonna drop it at that. Anyway, I had to get that off my chest, but I felt that, man. When you see stuff like this happen, bro, it's crazy. Y'all should see YouTube comments. Me and Zbot, we just here doing our thing. You got people in the YouTube comments afterwards saying, "How could Zbot go off and lose his voice? What an idiot!" The poor guy is just yelling for his squad. He happens to lose his voice, and somebody calls him out for being an idiot, and he should never lose his voice just for this. You have a guy, you got someone in the comments saying, "Rico and Bob, man, Rico can't hold a conversation. He can't hold a conversation." What? Do you know how long I've been doing this? Like, we just had a damn good conversation with me and my man Carl Jones, and you got an idiot say, "But do you think that bothers me?" Man, keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. Yo, the devil is a lie. The devil is a liar, boy. They're gonna try to do everything they can to kind of throw you off. You just got to keep it pushing. You got to keep it rolling. That's crazy. Isn't it crazy? Am I going too much? Are you guys enjoying this type of this type of content, this type of conversation? Because yo, that drives me nuts. When people just go out of their way just to be that dude or to be that girl. For what? You know what I mean? Just to kind of get a rise, and you get the rise, and then what? I will never allow that to bother me ever. Ever. Stay positive always. All right. Here we go. Let me keep pushing with this Bills Broncos, right? And let me cap off with this Jaguars first. So with this Jaguars game, there's a few things I got to get off my chest because I just loved what the Bills were able to do. I love what the Bills were able to do. But before I get there, if you guys have been living under a rock, I am a you guys know I'm a fan. We're all diehard Bills fans. I have to ask, were you guys in any way like this reacting to the game? I need to know. I need to know. Jeff King, I saw you call me. I'm gonna take your call in just a moment, brother. I got you, brother. I got you. I promise. Right? I was watching the game just like every one of y'all. And when the game ended with that game-ending interception, I lost my mind. I don't know if you guys have been able to see the footage of me, and I have to play it because I just think it's just necessary. So let me open this up so you guys can see my tomfoolery. And please, were you like this watching the game? Because if you were, thank you. This was me.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Let's go! Yes!
Oh no! No way! No way!
Hell yes!
Oh no way!
Yes! I could not stop my excitement. Usually it's a hell yeah and I'm done. I kept going. Who does that? Me, apparently. And apparently thousands of other people were like, bro, that is me.
I feel so good.
I'm absolutely
Let's
go. One more time.
Oh man.
Let me tell you something.
No way.
That's how much I wanted the Bills to win that game.
So pretty.
That's how much I wanted to win that game. I was pumped for that game. Y'all have no idea. And here we have it. Couldn't stop.
Oh.
Look at me.
Attaboy.
Hot mess. But here I am. Were you guys like this? Please tell me I'm not by myself.
Oh my goodness.
I'm watching this. I'm like, take the knee.
Let's go, boys.
All day.
Take that.
You got this. I'm like, and you know what? Bless my wife, man. Yo, there's some wives that just don't F with. Look at me. I turn around. I'm like, could you believe this? Did you see what kind of game this was? I'm deranged, unhinged. But you know what? I take comfort. I take comfort in knowing that I'm just as crazy as every one of you guys in the chat watching this. Look at me. Boom. Shout out to the wifey, because wifey, there's some wives and husbands out there, like maybe wives that are really into football and the husband's not really, or vice versa. They're like, yo, would you calm down? Would you stop? You're doing too much. Bro, wifey's right there with me. Love that girl because we're rocking it. So imagine that's the wild card game. Bro, I don't know if I got it in me to go anymore. I don't got the energy. I don't got the energy to do that for the Broncos game. And then going up against the Patriots or the freaking Texans. And then the Super Bowl. I ain't got the energy for that, man. I do not got the energy. Please tell me, smash that like if you were something like this. If you were something like this in this past game. So I had to play it because that's me just putting a nail in that coffin of that game. It's over and done with. Zeba lost his voice. I thought I was losing my voice. I was hoarse the whole time. Y'all couldn't really kind of catch me. Oh boy, it took me not to go run outside in the streets in my neighborhood and yell to the top of my lungs. But bro, everyone knows I'm a Bills fan. They already know. So if they hear screaming, they're like, oh, there goes Rico again. But I'm not one to go. I don't do that too much. My daughter, my eldest, she was like, Dad, I knew that this game meant a lot to you because this out of character. You know what I'm saying? And somebody was like, yo, look how high he was jumping. I felt out like the old man came out of me because I'm like jumping like a kid again. And I was like, bro, this is what this child's game will do to grown folk. You know what I'm saying? Male or female. We will run around like bozos just because your team won. And it's only the wild card. It's only the wild card game. Crazy. Anyway, appreciate you guys always, me showing love, because you guys have been showing love on my Twitter and all that stuff. And then I had one of my brothers from my church was like, hey man, you should add the praise music to this video and then just let that thing run. I was like, you know what? I'm on it. So if you see some praise video coming afterwards with me jumping all over the place, that's what it's going to be. Anyway, let me get right back to this Jags game and what stood out, what was lovely, what was great, and we can go from there. So let's talk about it. The good, the bad, the ugly. The good, the bad, the ugly, and then we can, my man Brian Bowers, yo, F around Rico, and you're going to end up tweaking a hamstring. Bro, I'm telling you, I was surprised they didn't buckle the knee. There would have been 3 on the IR, man. It would have been me, Shavers, and Gabe. ACL torn, out. All right. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's get to it and let's talk about it. There were a lot of good things that happened in this game, and let's talk about it. Jeff King, I still want to get you on that call, so hang tight, brother. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let me talk about it. Let's talk about like our quarterback, Mr. Josh Allen. I can't stress it enough how great he was. The banged up head, the banged up finger, the banged up left knee. He already dealing with bone bruise / foot issues, and this guy gutted it out. And even today in the presser, they say, hey man, how you feeling? He goes, I'm actually feeling good. This guy is unbelievable. They asked him, what is it about you that just keeps you tough? Like, what is it? Bro, I'm a country boy, man. He's a farm boy. And at the end of the day, when they needed to punish him, if he was being a bad boy at home, whatever, they say, hey, man, you're not playing the game. And that scared him shitless. He was like, bro, I want to play, so I had to behave myself. Bro, this guy, we are lucky to have this guy as our franchise quarterback. Say what you want about Brandon Beane. And we have been critical of Brandon Beane, but that is the one pick that has changed everything. I don't know how the Broncos skipped on Josh Allen. Why you would do that, how you could let him go is beyond me. But Brandon Beane took a chance, took a shot, traded what he needed to do, and that's what got him the moniker of big baller Beane, because he wheeled and dealed and got what he needed, and that was a franchise quarterback. And you're seeing the fruits of that brother's labor, right? You're seeing it, right? 7 straight seasons of going to the playoffs, and we have an opportunity right now. We have an opportunity to win 2 more games. I say 2 more games because that Super Bowl, I mean, we got 2 weeks before that Super Bowl gets there, because there's all that Radio Row stuff. You know what I'm saying? They got time to heal up. 2 more games to get to that big dance. And the Broncos are in the way right now. And we have an opportunity to take care of the Broncos. They're beatable because we played them last year. Are they going to be pissed off and ready to gain revenge on us? Absolutely. Are we going in healthy? We are not going in healthy. But this is the one thing that I do want to touch on. And I wrote it down in my notes here, but I want to make sure that I get this point across, because I think it's super important. And if I can find it, this would be big. Because I'm looking at all the challenges that the Bills will face. I'm looking at all the challenges that we're facing right now. And there's a lot riding on the season. There's a lot riding on the rest of the season to get to the playoffs, right? And this depth, these injuries that we have, it's all about the next man up. We know that. Josh must have said it a billion times. Somebody's got to step up. Somebody's got to say, he must have said it like 10 times in his presser. That's a clear message sent, right? A call of action sent to his receivers to say, I don't got to tell you anything else. Step up. Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, whoever is called up, you got to step up. But sometimes it's not just about the next man up, right? It's usually January football. Okay, and I wrote this down because it's not about in the playoffs. It's not about once you get to the playoffs, you get to the wild card round, divisional, all that. Once you get to January playoff football, it's not about who's the healthiest. It isn't, because everybody's banged up. It's about who can function while they're broken. Who can function while they're dealing with ailments? Who can kind of get over that pain and say, my team needs me, I'm ready to rock, right? Skill positions, of course, we're going to need these guys to step their game up, right? We're going to need more reliance on scheme going into these games. We're going to need more Josh creativity going into these games. And the defense, I need y'all to be on top of your communication. That's what it comes down to. But it comes down to not being healthy. Forget about the health. It's about who's stepping up next. Who can step up while being hurt? Everyone's hurt. Everyone's got a nick, right? So who is going to be the person that says, yo, damn all that stuff that's going down. I got your back. I'm bugging. I got a bad knee. My back is tight. All of that is out the window because January football is here. So it's not about I'm dealing with all these injuries. No, it's about who can deal with the injuries and still show up. That's the biggest thing that's going to be present. That has to be present going into January football. It's all about that, and that's how I see it. I'm all about that, man. So let's not talk about, who's not here and who's not going to be around and all that stuff. Let's talk about who's going to step up in January football when it matters, when you're dealing with these injuries. Ain't nobody trying to hear all these banged up things you got. The 49ers have been the most banged up team. They just lost George Kittle on a torn Achilles. I'm sure they would love Kittle back. Ain't going to get him back. So what are you going to do now? And that's how these Bills got to look at this, man. What you going to do next? All these excuses, we ain't trying to hear no excuses, man. Step your game up, get ready to go. So the way I'm looking at it is, let's not talk about that who's not here and who's there. Let's talk about January football. It's not about the healthiest. It's about who's going to be able to step up while they're hurt. And let's freaking roll. I'm looking forward to it. And I love it because right now, Josh is proving that right now. He's hurt and he's still delivering. So if he's not an example for the rest of this damn squad, I don't know what else is. So let's talk about health and depth. So Gabe Davis, out of here. Hold on. I got to get my banner back on there. Gabe Davis is gone. He's out of there. Shavers, unfortunately, he'll be leaving. So if you guys have been living under a rock, who's up next? Curtis Samuel has been called up. We could probably end up seeing him on the field going into this week. That's a big plus because some folks are like, yo, how convenient. He's ready to play right now. How great is that? Because we can actually go and lean on someone that knows his offense and is not going to be out of sort. He can just jump right back in. And then if he's going to be gassed here and there, they'll probably limit his plays. But we have someone that knows what they're supposed to do. And let's not forget, that very same Curtis Samuel was the one that made a huge play in that Denver Broncos game last year, cuts back a field and takes it to the house. So those are the big things that we're looking for. It's not all bad news. Shavers and Gabe being down hurts. But now we gain Curtis Samuel. We now open the window for Ed Oliver. We can get Ed Oliver back in this defense. You know how much he means to this defense. Having Ed, Walker, having TJ Sanders, having Joey Bosa with a nice, healthy rotation, Daquan Jones. Listen, those are the things that you want to hear. I want to see that second-year quarterback squirm. I want to see him make awful decisions and throw interceptions. That's what we needed. We weren't sure when Ed Oliver is going to return. He may not even return this game. I just know that the window is open. If we can get 91 back on this field, the level of play and in the field has evened just a tad more. We've got great play coming from Trey White, great play coming from Benford. Cole Bishop is just solidifying himself as one of the top dogs on this defense. Shaq Thompson is an absolute stud. He's a leader in this squad. You love to see it. And now we get Ed Oliver back. So it's not all bad news, like I said, right? It's not about who's the healthiest. It's about who can step up right now and make big plays and help this team get over the edge. That Mamba mentality. You want to call it, we'll call it the Mamba mentality. I see it for what it is, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So huge update with the Bills offense and the Bills defense. So we lost some on the offensive side of the ball, but we potentially gain on the defense side of the ball. Hamlin, I know he's been practicing as well. I see that Sandra. I don't know how I feel about Hamlin returning. I know he's coming back as a depth piece. I know he's returning as a piece that knows his defense very well. But I kind of am looking forward to seeing more of Jordan Hancock in this defense, because he was flying around that game. He was flying around. So if him and Cole Bishop can find a way to kind of get on the same page and know exactly what each other is doing, that could be a huge two-piece combo for the rest of the season and for seasons to come. We talked about it all off season. Is it going to be a nickel? Is he going to safety? Man, transition him to safety. That would be a great move. It seems as though that is the case. So we'll get some pieces back. I don't know if Cam Lewis is going to be returning as well. Those are things that we'll talk about in just a moment. So the one thing that I do want to share when it comes to that is we do get some valuable pieces back. The Bills will get some valuable pieces back. And one huge name is Ed Oliver. Easy Ed Oliver could return to the Bills as soon as this game. If he feels good and they say the bicep is ready to go, I would love to see 91 back on the field. Looking forward to it. We'll see if that takes place. Now, one thing that stands out to me a lot, Jordan Hancock. I mentioned it earlier. I'm going to mention it again. Jordan Hancock's addition to this defense alongside Cole Bishop could be something that Bills fans should be excited about. You've got youth, you got excitement, you got edge, and you have a safety smaller in stature, but he comes downhill and will sock you. I like what I'm seeing in that regards in terms of those two young bucks back there. You have to give credit to McDermott on his development skills, because he's been able to get these guys ready to go. This rookie is now contributing on this defense. And the more you see from Hancock, the more you get excited. Don't forget, man, this guy was a playmaker collegiately. So him coming to this squad, I'm looking all the way forward to seeing Hancock and Cole Bishop, that tandem together, to wreak havoc against any opponent that was coming up this way. But their communication has to be on par. Y'all got to know exactly what each other is doing, because Jordan Poyer, that's something that you got to give him credit for. He was always in the right place, right time, along with Cole Bishop. Hopefully Hancock can present the same things. So big shout out to that defensive backfield. I feel good with what we got, man. Trey White's playing at a top-notch level. Potentially we get Hairston back next week if we move on next week, obviously. So we're starting to get slowly healthy on the defensive side of the ball. We just got to figure some things out on the offense. So huge update going, and we'd love to see it. Now, were there things that I did not like in this past game? I'm trying to. I didn't like that we're continuing to give up 150 yards, bro. Enough. Defense, tighten up. I know we won the game, but we let this team run for 150, bro. Tighten up, man. This is where we have to. Luckily, we're not going up against big juggernaut running backs. The next one, I think, for the Broncos is Harvey. Harvey's a nice rookie. He can run the ball. There's no question about that. I ain't gonna sit here and say, oh, he trash and he can't do it. But I'm gonna tell you this, man. They're not a team that scares you running the football. But when they look at this defense, we allow more 5 yards of carry. They're gonna be like, yo, these boys are sweet. We can go ahead and run amok and do what we need to do. The one thing that I do appreciate about this defense is they will let you run. But you better hit home runs, because the more you run, we'll just wear you down. We'll let you get your 5-6 yards of pop. You can run for 150 yards, but if you don't capitalize, you know the Bills will. So there's a very bend but not break type process that goes with these Bills. But I'll tell you, folks, it's one of those things where I pay attention, and we just got to tighten up, man. And I know Shaq Thompson is a huge difference maker, and I love everything about what Shaq Thompson brings to this team, but everyone's got to contribute. We got to contribute and stop these boys from just, running amok on us, man. I'm getting sick of it, bro. I'm really getting sick of it. So I want to see this defense tighten up in the run, because right now they're middle of the pack run offense, and we're bottom feeders. We're bottom of the pack in terms of running the football. So what's out there. They got J.K. Dobbins. I believe J.K. Dobbins is still playing. R.J. Harvey. And those are the two big guys running the football. I think Dobbins is hurt, but we'll find out. And then you got Jaleel McClellan that's running the football out there. So we'll see how it goes. Is he hurt? Yeah, he's on the injury reserve. So J.K. Dobbins been done. Poor guy, man. So it's going to be McClellan and R.J. Harvey. I believe his name is R.J. Harvey. Yeah, R.J. Harvey. So listen, 3.7 yards a pop for R.J. Harvey, and then McClellan is giving you 5 yards a pop. Two different types of backs, but we got to make sure that we handle business, man. We got to handle business and allow these guys. I mean, get Bo Nix and put him in bad positions. Have him throw the freaking football over the yard. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Cortland Sutton. We'll get Christian Benford or Cortland Sutton, Trey White, Troy Franklin. Bro, it's not like we don't match up well offensively. At the end of the day, it's what our offense is going to be able to do against their defense. I think our defense will be all right. Our offense is what's going to have to set the tone. If the Bills can get up on these Broncos early, bro, we walking away with this, man. We walking away with a dub. We walking away with a dub. My man Harvey says, Harvey's a better pass catcher out the backfield. Yes, I've seen him. This boy can definitely get out the backfield and catch footballs, but so is Etienne. Etienne is that guy too. So we just got to make sure that we get to our zones, know where we're supposed to be, keep stuff in front of us. Bob's your uncle, but I can certainly see those things going down. So let me see if I can call my man Jeff King, because I know he called me. So I got to make sure that I call my bro and get him on call. Listen, I got 20 more minutes that I can be on call. So let me get these super chats in, and then I'm gonna take that call that Jeff King was trying to give me. Speaking of my man Jeff King comes in with a huge super chat. I can't tell you how appreciative I am of this. You guys have no idea. Y'all don't have to do this. The fact that you guys do stuff like this, it means a lot to me. It really does, and I can't stress that enough. So y'all work hard. I know how the economy is, man. The economy is tough, and the fact that y'all doing this to help this channel grow, much love to you. My man Jeff King says, injuries, personnel we don't have, playing against the number one team in the AFC in their house. F all that. We have another week to believe. Take it, run with it, be grateful, and believe. The rest is noise. That means shit. Believe, go Bills. Oh my God. I was talking to Jeff King the other day, and I was like, man, being, you know what I'm saying, in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s in the 90s when the Bills were just going to playoff game after playoff game and Super Bowl after Super Bowl, the city must have been a buzz. The hype must have been amazing, but the heartbreak. And we started talking about the Four Falls of Buffalo. I believe it's called. I have yet to watch Four Falls of Buffalo. I just can't bring myself to watching it because I'm not trying to see, you know what I'm saying, heartbreak, bro. I ain't trying to see it. And Jeff was like, bro, if you haven't watched it, don't even bother watching it. Just keep your peace. And speaking of my man, Jeff King, here he comes on call, on cue. My guy, Jeff King, what's going on, boss?
What's up, brother? How are you, man?
I am great. I was just talking about the Four Falls of Buffalo, and you're like, yo, do not watch it. Stay away.
I lived it, bro. I lived it. So I'm just telling you, it's brutal, man. It's more brutal for me to watch it than probably you. But it's brutal, you know, because I went through it.
Listen, I don't blame you, and I'm not trying to sit here and cry and like a blubbering baby. I ain't trying to do it.
Oh no, I know that. I'm just saying, anybody who lived through it, they know, man. It's, you know, heart wrenching. It really is.
My man Walter says, I've always said I will watch the Four Falls after we win a Super Bowl. You know what? That's a bet. I'm never watching it until we win a Super Bowl, and then I'll watch it because I can get through it.
I highly recommend it, man. Walter's a smart man. I highly recommend it.
I totally freaking agree. Listen,
because
Jeff King,
with a team that talented, go ahead, man. With a team that talented that we had, you know, we should have won at least two. We should have won at least two.
At least two. At least one. Two would have been magnificent. My gosh. Jeff King, talk to me, man. How are we feeling about the game that just passed? And summarize for me the game that just passed, because then I want to get into your thoughts on the game coming up. But the game that just passed against the Jaguars, what were you going through? Were you just as pumped as we were all when that tip ball went in the air and an interception, Cole Bishop comes down with it? Talk to me. What were your thoughts?
I think I commented on your show and Bot's show that I wasn't worried about it.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
really wasn't. I was not sweating that game whatsoever.
Really? Holy.
I really wasn't, brother. I mean, you can go back and check. I just was not sweating it.
What made you
I knew
confident?
Josh was not. Well, because it's Josh, man.
Gotcha.
And I'm not saying that it's a cliche that, we got 17. I'm saying it's just, I know Josh, man. He had probably heard all this shit all week long. And let's face it, I mean, every freaking commentator on TV picked the Jags, with the exception of Dan Orlovsky.
Yep.
And that's probably because he's got a slot on,
Who knows? Chris Brown show.
Thank you. He's got a slot on the Chris Brown show with Steve Tasker, and I get it. But no, I wasn't sweating that game at all. I really wasn't.
I love that you weren't. What stood out to you in that game where you're like, okay, this team is different? Did anything stand out in that game to you where you're like, you know what? I believe that. I mean, we all believe, but like, did something stand out where you're like, okay, this is why these guys can go all the way?
That 10-yard tush push, bro, 10, 11, whatever it was. It's like, I mean, to me, that's just determination. It's like, all right, F this shit. Excuse my French people, but this is who I am. But that's, it's like, these guys want this.
Yes.
They want this. They want this more. Because if you look at that one play, you see two guys that stand in the end zone from the Jags with their hands up in the air like, what the hell just happened? Well, he just got shoved in the end zone, man. That's what happened.
You're right, because that
somebody
number 20.
Somebody just put your foot up your ass.
Hell yeah. Because that number 20
happened.
was sitting there turning his back like, oh, man, they got the first down. Meanwhile, that pile is still driving towards the end zone. Dude.
And then he goes running back in there like, oh, you're a little too late, brother.
Listen, you ain't lying, bro. Okay? And those are the small details that matter in these games. So I'm so glad you brought that up, because I'm thinking of all the moments that happened in this game. Yo, that tush push was something, because I put my head down like, yo, we got the first down. Sweet. I turn my head and the wife starts yelling. I was like, whoa, they're still, what? Are you kidding me? They're still he's about to get in the end zone. My gosh. It was pure, sheer determination. Like, we ain't stopping. Love seeing it, especially that we did it on the road. That stood out to me a lot. So I'm loving every bit of that. So let's go to this Broncos game, brother. You weren't worried about the Jags game. How do you feel about this Broncos game?
How do I feel about the Broncos game? Let me put it to you this way, brother. Because I hear everybody talking about it, yourself as well, and a lot of other people, and I get it. I understand it. That's what we have and what we don't have. At this point of the dance, does it really matter? Does it really matter? This is what we came to the dance with. This is what we got.
Touche.
So you're either going to go out on the dance floor and dance, or you're going to sit against the wall like a wallflower, and you ain't walking home with no ass tonight. That's what it comes down to. I got a feeling they're going to go out on the dance floor and they're going to dance.
And the thing is, when we dance till the lights come on, baby.
Well, bro, it is what it is at this point, bro. This is what we have. And, moves should have been made earlier in the season to grab this one, and this one. They didn't. Can't cry about it now.
Yep.
Again, this is what we're coming to the dance with. I'm not sweating it. My point is with my super chat there, bro.
Yep.
You got one more year of life, man. You got to believe.
You got to believe.
You got to believe. You got one more year. You got one more week of life, man. That's one more than anybody else, man.
You got to
believe. Philadelphia Eagles are sitting home right now making their fucking reservation, as well as everybody else who lost. Pittsburgh, poor Tomlin, for the love of Christ. I don't care what anybody says. The guy's a class act, man.
He is a class act. He is a class act. All right.
How many years did he go without a losing season?
Listen,
19
years.
19 years without a losing
incredible.
Season. Oh, yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go.
That's crazy. But you know what? People they just get so sick and tired of seeing their team, because I think we'd feel some type of way too. Let's just say McDermott, every year, not a losing record, but every year we lose in the wild card game. And you see the same quarterbacks going beyond to the AFC Championship or Super Bowl or divisional round, and your team makes the playoffs, but they're eliminated every wild card game. There's comes a time where they're like, all right, something's got to go with this guy. But you love the guy, but you don't want it. And that's how I feel. Let's just say at one point McDermott's here and he's for years. We keep going to the divisional round, but we just can't quite make it. Because I've even heard, I don't know if you've mentioned this, but I've even heard people say Marv Levy should have been gone after the first Super Bowl, after the second Super Bowl, third. They should have let him go, but he was there for all four. So what? Damned if you do, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's one of those tough situations to be in. Tomlin made his decision, but how do you feel about that with Marv Levy? I mean, I'm taking you back a little bit. Would you have kept it the same way?
You're not taking me back because we have had this conversation, and I love Marv Levy, class act, Harvard professor, smart as shit,
absolutely.
But again, going back to the talent that we had, bro, we had how many All Pros?
It's crazy.
How many guys in the Hall of Fame?
It's crazy.
How many guys in the Hall of Fame? And then they're still adding more guys to it. I'm sorry, man. After the second one, he should have been gone. Not the first one, because I hate to put it on Scott Norwood, but, it's a 38-yard shot. You've made 40, 45s, and 46s all year round.
Yep.
Biggest game of your life. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Can't go back in time, bro. If you go back in time,
you're right about that.
I'd be a rich man right now.
I hear you on that one. All right, last message before me. So what's your thoughts going into this very game? Like if you were to send a message to like Bills Mafia, like right now, and you talking to them, you got their ears right now, and going into the Broncos, give us that Jeff King pep talk. I need a 2-minute pep talk from my guy Jeff King. What do we got? I'm putting you on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to make it simple, man. Enjoy this. Enjoy it. Okay? You don't know when it's coming back around. It may not be next year. May not be the year after that. You got to enjoy it, man. You have one of the greatest fucking talents you ever see at quarterback. Bar none. The man carried this. We would have, without Josh Allen, probably a 4-13 record without Josh Allen. I'm being generous right now.
Right.
Okay. You have, especially with the roster that we have this year, we might be like the Jets or Miami. Okay. Enjoy this, folks. It is. I know everybody likes to go on the miserable side. Well, this one's hurt. This one's hurt. That one's not here. We don't have this. We don't have. Fuck all that shit. Enjoy it, man.
Enjoy it. And
sit back with your family. Enjoy it.
Love it. And you know what? We'll try to enjoy it. I don't know if I can enjoy it sitting down and relaxing. I'm going to be freaking, my blood pressure's going to be all over the place.
Brother, you need to be on my fucking hard medication, okay? After what I saw with that fucking video. Holy shit.
I'm telling you, brother, I need to calm my black ass down.
God bless your wife, man. Let me tell you. God bless Jenna, man.
She's great. She is fantastic.
Listen, real shortly, I want to say that you and Carl were talking about that individual who was talking to
Jones.
The Jaguars coach.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you something, folks. In this world right now, with all this negativity bullshit, our country being divided, not getting into politics here. We got nothing but negativity in America. That right there was a breath of fresh air, man.
It was.
That's the shit you need to hear every day. Not all the rest of this crap. Like you were saying, man. One good word can make a person's day, man.
Hell yeah.
One bad one could ruin their whole life.
Listen.
And it's very serious shit, folks. People got mental problems out there. They go through depression. They're probably at the lowest in their lives. Be kind to one another.
I love it. That's a great message. Jeff King, you are the man.
Man.
We're always, obviously, we're going to keep in touch. You have yourself a fantastic night. Are you working tonight or are you having a night off?
I got a night off, brother.
Hey, my guy.
I'm getting ready to crash.
All right, brother. Listen, love you, man.
Love you, folks.
We'll keep in touch.
All right, be good, man.
You got it, my man. That's my guy, Mr. Jeff King. He's not just my guy. He's our guy. He's your guy too, right? And that's a clear message, man. I'll tell you this much, man. There is a lot of nonsense that goes on, and it's important to know. It's important to know. And I'll tell you that what's important to know is that positivity is not a joke, man. It's not a joke. I'll tell you right now, the power that the words have, right? And death and life are in the power of the tongue. Y'all need to know that. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. What you say matters. So if you want to be negative and so on and so forth, sometimes that you can bring life to someone with just a small compliment. You know what I'm saying? Hey, love your look. Hey, keep it up, keep it up. Hey, great job on that. The other day, I'll tell you right now, small little story. We have a crib that I've been wanting to take out of the room for so long. You know, we get all busy with life, and my son's been out of this crib for so long, but I just had the crib up, and my wife used to run a daycare, so she finally got rid of everything. I had to take down the crib, so I'm taking down the crib and I'm doing all the stuff. And I'm taking it away. My son comes to me. He's 4. He comes over. He's like, Dad, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just taking down this crib. He goes, hey, Dad, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Walks away. Yo, just that little, you're doing a great job, bro, melted my heart. Because obviously my son's telling me I'm doing a great job, but it was the fact that he saw what it looked like. I put it away. He told me I'm doing a great job, and that was it. It felt great. That was for the next 20 minutes. I saw with a smile on my face. That's all that matters. Liam Cohen, hey, you're doing a great job. Duval loves you. You're doing what you're supposed to do. That's it. And you got people messing around, bro. I ain't trying to hear all that. Let me get to some super chats before I get out of here, folks. Appreciate you guys very much. My man Jacob, because Jacob comes in and says the Jags gave it everything they had. They showed all their cards, and Buffalo still won. That's the facts, man. That was a good game. That was a good game. The Jags are going to be good for a while, man. And although the team's going to change a little bit, but they got a damn good coach. They got a quarterback at the helm, and they got good pieces around this team. And don't forget, you got Travis Hunter coming back. That's going to bolster their defense even more. That's going to be a good squad. It just wasn't their time now. And that's why I love what Jeff King said. Enjoy it now. Enjoy it for what it is now. So big shout out to you, my man Jacob. Let me get to my man Let Ropsta. Regardless of your thoughts on her journalism, it's not controversy worthy at all. It isn't. It isn't, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It should have been like, oh, that was really nice of that lady to say that. Move on with life. Jacob, 13 months in, I love you, man. Rico's Jags were playing dirty all game, man, in my opinion, and had me heated. What happened to Davis was uncalled for, just me. I didn't like it either. When you look at the footage even more, you can see it's just, this game is such a bang bang play. Like Carl said, it is bang bang, and sometimes just certain the amount of weight you planted on one foot, then you get hit on that foot. Because any other way, if he saw it coming, he could have kind of braced for it and kind of like loosened his feet off the turf a little bit, so he can his legs can go this way. But his leg was planted right into there, so it was bad. I feel bad for Gabe. I know that I've been a little hard on Gabe and thinking like, I don't think I want him on this field, but you don't ever want to see somebody get banged up like that. That's not what you're trying to see. All right, let me go to my man Bart Tech. What up, Bart? Rico, same. I ran downstairs from my apartment and ran around my block screaming, "Go Bills!" And I live in the suburbs of Philly. Bro, you better get your ass back inside. Philly don't play that mess. They ain't trying to hear no Bills talk in Philly. But listen, when you're excited, baby. You're excited. I felt like Jesse Spano. I'm so excited. For those that know Jesse Spano, you know what I'm saying? You got to be a 90s kid to know that. For you young bucks, you don't know who Jesse Spano is. She used to be bad. She used to be bad back in the day. I'll tell you that much. Let me keep it rolling here. I got my man Signified Nose comes in and says, in a way, Bean used all his energy drafting Josh because he literally hasn't made one good first round pick since. One can argue that there's been some shaky first rounds. I mean, right now we're looking at our tight end Kincaid walking in a walking boot, but we're told it's just precautionary, so he should be good for this upcoming game. But he's had some decent picks, but I'll tell you, man. We just got to win it. Just hope we just win the whole thing. We ain't got to worry about no picks and no nothing. Just win the whole thing and call it a day. That's the way I'm looking at it, man. That's what I'm hoping. But you know what? Second round pick Cole Bishop's looking damn good to me. I'll tell you that much. You got to call it for what it is. And my man Don, what up, Don? Don comes in and says sometimes the next man up is the best man up, like Shaq Thompson. He's right, man. Like I said earlier, guys. Sometimes it's not about who's the healthiest. You know what I'm saying, in January. It's about who can fight through it and play good football and knowing and understanding what takes place. Because January football isn't about who the healthiest is. We know that, right? It's about who can function while they're broken. That's what it comes down to. Not about who the healthiest is. It's about who can function while they're broken. Let me repeat that for y'all because I need to clip this. Ladies and gentlemen, these Bills going into January football were banged up. But let's make things very clear. It is not about who the healthiest going into January football. It's who can function while they're broken. Right now, Josh Allen has proven that he is functioning while he is battered, beaten, blue. But he says, hey, follow me, and I'll take you to where we need to go. And you got the rest of these Bills fans watching 17 lead, and all they got to do is follow 17, and we'll be all right, man. Function while broken. Don't worry about how healthy we get. We got to handle business while we're dealing with these ailments. And 17 right now is a prime example of how you're supposed to get stuff done. Let's go. So, folks, that's my time. I appreciate you guys. Oh, I got another super chat coming in. My man Richie says, yo, this channel, Bills Mafia, is more than just football. It truly is family and genuine people who care. We are going to Super Bowl 60. Gut feeling is all, man. Listen, I love that gut feeling. And now I'm going to give you some love for that gut feeling, because any gut feeling that you have that feels good, let's take it, because I had a good gut feeling about this Jaguars game, and we came out and we handled business. So let's keep it pushing and let's keep it rolling. All right, folks, that is truly my time. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in. Do me a favor, smash that like before you guys get out of here. And I got to read my quips. You guys already know what time it is, man. When it comes to our sleeper app, jump on it. We know what it is, man. We're throwing you $20 entry free on us. Don't waste time. Jump all over it, and we'll listen. We're hooking you up, man. Use that code BF25. You can't go wrong with it. It's always love, and we got a game coming up on Saturday, which blows. I don't like that, but we got to deal with what we got to deal with. So where we at? I'll tell you where we're at. Let me share my screen and tell you what's happening. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we got Josh Allen going for 1.5 touchdowns. Give me the more. I got Kincaid, 36.5 yards. Give me the more. You got me sounding like Busta Rhymes. Give me the more. You got Bo Nix, 1.5 TDs with this pass defense. Give me the less. RJ Harvey, 50.5 yards rushing. I said, give me the low. Give me the low. I'm sticking to it. Give me the low. Y'all jump all over it. If you guys haven't, this is your opportunity to jump on it. And you guys let me know how you feel. So that is my time, folks. If you guys enjoyed this stream, do me a favor, smash that like, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. It's your boy Rico. And y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. And we'll catch you guys back tomorrow with my guy, the Thigh Doc. We got to talk about these injuries. We got to get some insight. And we'll go from there. I need to know more about Ed Oliver. What are the chances of Ed Oliver playing with us? Will he be available? Man, would that be a boost to this defense? Greg Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Deion Walker, TJ Sanders, right? Maybe we get Larry Ogunjobi in this, but we may not even need him. You got Joey Bosa, Shaq Thompson staying put, Matt Milano playing lights out, Taron Johnson playing good ball. Folks, bro, let's bring it. McDermott, dialed in. Joe Brady, you got one job to do. We're going to talk about it more on Friday. Joe Brady, you got a job to do. Scheme these boys open. We may not have the best weapons on the offensive side of the football other than 17, but we sure as hell going to scheme ourselves open. We did it last year against the Broncos. We can do it again. We're going to find out. See you guys tomorrow for injuries, and then see you guys on Friday for our preview of the Broncos game with my man Z-Bot. And by the way, Mama Dukes is coming to visit during this on Friday for a week. So I told her, listen, don't bother me Friday. Don't bother me Saturday. You got me Sunday through the rest of the week. Leave me alone those 2 days. All right, folks, you guys have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless. And we'll catch you guys again tomorrow.